So yesterday we had a few problems with our water pump for the motor. It wasn't pumping water out and we were getting, the temperature was rising. So we stopped here at lock 11 and Tony replaced the water pump on the motor, and hopefully we should be all good today. So we've had a lovely night here, very, very quiet, and the bird song was beautiful. And we've just been waiting for another boat that's just coming into the lock now, as you can see. And those are the cruisiers in the van coming in to do the locks, and we're going to be travelling with them today. So we're into our first lock and we're sharing it with another boat. They have been extremely slow, so we've been going very, very slow so we can not have to wait so long at the lock before we go in. So they are just getting the bridge ready. They've put the arms down to stop the cars coming across. He's just unlocking it there. And then they will spin the lever and lift the bridge up. You can see sort of over there, that is the weight, counter lever weight for this arm when it lifts up. Here it goes. Look at that. I've got to get going to drive. So we're at the second lock of the day, and you can see down there's the third lock, so they're very close to each other. We've got 10 in a row. So these are now electric boxes that they have instead of being hand wound and everything. One of our cruisiers. So we are in the third lock, and it is lunchtime, so they have just told us that we're gonna stay in here for an hour while they go off and have their lunch, and we're just gonna have our lunch. So this is the last lock of our ladder that we've been doing on our way to Mons, and our cruisiers have been very good, and we're just going into the last one, and then we've got 20 k's to Mons from here, but we have no lift bridges or locks left. Page at the helm, great concentration. We are at a little disadvantage because our wiper is not working and it is raining. It's quite hard to see. It's easier through the screen, but it is still quite hard to see. So this was our spot for last night, and I don't know whether you can hear, but the motorway is like right there. So we are at the first lock
We rang through and they only speak French, so we did our Google Translate, and I think they got the message. A big ship has just gone in, so we're just going to float around and wait until it opens again. We don't know whether there'll be a boat coming down or not. We will wait and see. So we have got the red-green light flashing, which just means they're getting the lock ready. Now we're not sure whether we've got floating bollards or little holes in the wall or what we're going to have, so there's lots of sort of a little bit of anxiety beforehand. So we're in all by ourselves, and oh, excuse the side of the wall, you can see what it's like. We've got both our ropes, we've got our middle rope and our stern rope on the same hooks, and so we have to move them up as the water goes up. It's quite a long way up. And we've got life jackets on because we have to have them on in the big locks, so it's all good. There's this big sort of graunches and groans. They're all a bit daunting, the sound. You don't know quite what to expect. Up on the gate you can see there's those big holes. We're wondering whether the water's going to come gushing through those or whether it's going to come from underneath. There's so many different ways it can come in, and you just never know quite what it's going to do. Are we coming up? Going up yet? Oh, we are very, very slowly, so it's actually quite gentle, unexpectedly.
This is where all the scrap metal came from.
Well, this has been a very, very gentle lock compared to what we thought it was going to be like, which is great. You can see something has hit the end fence. I think a boat must have come at the door before it stopped on the other side. So we came out of the lock, and then you can see it's just all scrap metal and scrap glass, and this sort of area right through Mons area is very much all recycling and steelworks. I mean, this is all, I don't know what they've got in this big ship. Looks like gas or something, something in containers. But huge factories everywhere you go along here. Certainly not very pretty. It's interesting, but it's not very pretty. So we have come up to our second lock, which is massive. And there isn't really, it's not designed for little boats like us. It's designed for great big ships. And so they've got these sort of bollards here. But as you can see on our boat, they're not exactly the prettiest things, and it's quite tricky to tie up to them because the boat pivots on that piece. It doesn't sit against a wall or anything. So it's a little bit tricky. Yep. So we have got floating bollards, but they've only just painted them. The paint is all wet, getting all over our ropes, which is a shame, but it makes it so much easier because it's a very, very tall lock. So we came into the lock, we got to tie up sort of halfway there, and they called us and said go further forwards because they can split this lock in half, and so you can see the doors are closing. See the slowly lifting with us. Look at that top wheel up there, you can see it turning. Which makes it so much easier. So they just floated up with the water. We can see it up ahead. That is the Strepy Lift. Woohoo!
Kia ora koutou, this is Paige, special guest to Amber's vlog for YouTube, and a very happy passenger aboard Matan Pashur. So, where have we been the last few weeks? Let me tell you, I'm very pleased to take you on this journey with us. We started in Dixmude, but before we even went on the canal, we ended up in the water in a very different way. But that's not for the vlog. But let's just say we had some adventures. Then we travelled down first. We went to Ypres and we saw the Meeting Gates. Then we went all the way back up. Oh, I say all the way, so and then we made it to Newport where we touched the North Sea. And then we travelled along to Bruges. We were in Bruges. It was very cool. Then we went all the way down to Ghent. And that was really fun. We looked at the Gavenstein Castle. 3 days there. We had about 2 days in Bruges, 3 days in Ghent. Now I'm trying to remember where we are. Then we travelled down, tide, big tide, sea, ocean, to the Dender. And there's lots of locks, lots of little stays. We got Mattentans in Gerardsbergen. Then we went down into Ath. And we ended up, the lock was broken, so then we had a day in Brussels via the train. Lots of locks here, lots of locks there. And now we're going along. We're partying it up. We make it to Mons. I don't know if I would say partying it up as much here. Then we go all the way up here, I think.
That's where we are now.
See, I called a friend. And then we're going up there, which is the big lift.
So we've got the first lifters here. This is where we are right now.
Oh, jokes.
At the Strepy Thieu.
We're going up the Strepy Thieu. Not up here. This doesn't exist yet. We're going here.
And then tomorrow we will go through that one.
Yeah.
So we have arrived at the Strepy Thieu, I don't know, lift. You can see this big bath there and a big bath there, and that's going to come down. We're going to drive into it, we're going to seal it, and they're going to lift it up, and then we'll drive off. Very, very cool. And this replaces 4 big locks that are over in a gully over that way. So it's just started moving. The end gate is moving up now. That must be the end of the bathtub wall coming out. And then we will drive in through there. Cool, that's wicked. So that gate is now shutting. We're in here all on our own. It's very, very cool. And just look how big this is. It's just insane. So you can see way up there, that's where we end up driving out, way up there. But it's just nuts how big it is. So it's making some little noises, some grunts and groans. And we're like, ooh, oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Ooh, too cool. Yeah, baby. Woohoo, Hayes. It's... What do you reckon, Ed? That's pretty cool. That's so bizarre.
That's a SpaceX sound.
That is cool. It's very smooth. So just slowly, slowly lifting up.
two lanes, yes. Yeah, so that's our lane here, and you can see the end of the bath. When that opens, we'll go through there.
Right that way. So this will just be coming up. That one just going down.
So you see you can go past the wall. Crazy.
Yeah.
So these are the big weights that are counterbalancing what we are coming down towards us. There's a couple of them. Great big concrete weights as we come down.
See the sprinkler system in cases of fire?
Where? Oh, yes, yes. It's pretty amazing. Wow. I think if we need a ladder, we're... Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. There are doors there. It's funny how you don't think about these things until you're in it. Oh yeah, there's our big stopper. That goes up to the roof. Yeah. Here they are. Oh, it's freezing up here. That wind is very cold. Great big cables. Those cables are massive. Wet my head. Awful. Coming up to the top. There's the end of the canal there. Very well sealed. So that took us about 6 minutes. It wasn't very long, 8 minutes. Now these are just lifting up the gate at the end, and we will be out onto the aqueduct. So we've just come up and we've just tied up here. And unfortunately it's all closed, you can't walk up there anymore. There was a museum up there, but they've closed it at the end of last year, so we're just going to see what we can see from up here. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed the Strepy Thieu Lift. We certainly did. It is quite an amazing experience and one I'd recommend. And to think it doesn't cost you anything more to go up it, it's truly amazing. Next week we will be going down the Ronquilly incline, which is quite an amazing experience again, and we have quite a scary little episode there for us, and we'll see you then.